I thought Figma AI would be a game changer, so I decided to redesign my portfolio, but it turned out to be more of a letdown than a breakthrough. So I'll show you what I learned. So this is our current website, and as you can see, my website is fairly simple, and if I try to switch to different pages, again, we are reusing components here. If I want to create a portfolio website, I would just use this Figma AI panel, and then I would navigate to first draft because I do want to create a first draft. So here, as soon as I click that, it tells me to basically write in the prompt that you want. So what I do want is a basic site, so I can click on the basic site, and now I'm brought to the prompt page. And then here, Figma even tells me you can write a sample prompt, which is a landing page for a friendly tech brand. Here, what I can do is just write portfolio website that is simple and it is designed with auto layout. So again, this is the prompt I'm going to use, a portfolio website that is simple and it is designed with auto layout. So let's just click make and see what happens. And as you can see, Figma is loading. Still, it is trying its best to recreate this portfolio. Here, what I'm noticing is it is still working. So we have the auto layout frame being generated on the left side, which is good. And now Figma tells me that it is done. Right now I can basically make changes. Let's say that I do want to go with like black and white, which is the color that I want to, or maybe we can go with dark theme. I think black and white should be good. And then if I click make changes, so here we can switch between light and dark. And in here we have the ability to change the radius. So let's just make the radius rounded. And as I basically zoom in here, I do notice that the radius is being rounded, which is good. The other panel is the spacing. So here I can adjust the spacing if I want to. So I can kind of like increase the spacing a little bit. And in terms of the font, I do want to go with a default sans serif font. So here we have enter. So I'm going to go with enter. For body, I would go again with enter. And for labels, I would go with enter as well. Also for the color one, you can keep it as like all the colors here. However, we can kind of explore the different colors that we see. If I go ahead and visit my own website that is actually live, this is my brand color. So I want to use this brand color. So here in Chrome, I can right click and inspect. And then what I do notice is here, if I try to hover over this, and then go to the style. This is basically the brand color that I'm using. So what I would do is I'm going to copy my brand color, navigate back to Figma, and here in the hex section, just paste it. And then I'm happy with this. However, it's too much. I much rather have a white background. Also, if I go ahead and visit my own website, my website also has like a dark and light mode. Also, there's a bit of an animation in the background, which is good. I don't think here, if I try to compare it with the Figma side, it is basically creating a similar layout. If we try to zoom in, we again have a grid, name of the project, and also here, if I try to go basically to my portfolio section, let's just make it light mode, it's better. Here we have the name of the project, the duration, the tool that is being used with, again, links, and it is responsive. So here I can just basically resize it and it would grow. Let's also test this out. What I do notice is here I really don't like basically using my brand color because it actually is using my brand color as the background color, which is not what I want. And also here I do want to go with all white. However, as soon as I type all white, I notice it actually defaults back to gray. Let's just click back and then click another color, and let's see if I can actually choose white. So here, double F, and if I click outside, again, it doesn't choose white, which is kind of interesting. It should really choose white color as the background color. And if I go again to the prompt, here we have some like changes that we can do here. Make it pop. Let's just actually click and see how does this AI will make this pop. So let's make the changes. And then what I do notice is it actually really didn't make it pop at all. It just made the background color yellow and it made the body text a little bit darker. So I can just undo the changes. I was not happy with the prompt, which is make it pop. So let's just click outside and let's choose another prompt here. The prompt that I used was a portfolio website. Again, let me just try to bring the prompt out and let's just scale it here. That was the prompt that I used to make basically my portfolio website. Let's just put it at the top and then let's call this V1 and let's just copy this and use AI again and then create a first draft. And then here I'm basically choosing from the basic site. I don't want any app or wireframe, so from the basic site, let's just go ahead and paste this, a portfolio website that instead of simple, let's use that is heavily focused on typography, and it is one single scrollable page instead of having multiple pages. So let's click make and see what happens. And now again, Figma is working on the other one, which is a portfolio website that is heavily focused on typography. Again, what I do notice, basically Figma, I think behind the scene has a pattern that is trying to follow, which is this landing page here. You see, welcome to my portfolio website, and Figma actually is repeating this, which is kind of disappointing. I thought it would actually bring us different layouts. Also, I do definitely want to make the changes. Again, I do want to go with triple F, which is white, but if I click outside, it defaults back to gray, which is okay. And then for the font, I always want to go with sans serif fonts. This is good. And now if I try to compare the prompts, so here, let me just bring this here, copy the prompt, and then paste it. We basically have similar prompt, but I think they heavily focus on typography. Like this would be our version 2, which is better. We have this scrollable thing to show our projects, which is nice. However, what I do notice is this section is nice here, what I do, and then we have these layouts, which I kind of like. And then here we have some asymmetrical grid, which is good, but kind of awkward in terms of, spacing. And then also we have like a testimonial section here with the name of the brand. But again, it's a bit disappointing. The footer is still the same compared to the footer here. We still are using the same auto layout. And also what I do notice here, we have this kind of like portfolio about section. Let me just collapse this for the version 1. We had an about section here, and our about section, I guess here, portfolio text paragraph section. It is a bit different, just moved around. However, for the prompt 2, I didn't use the word auto layout, but it actually built everything with auto layout, which is impressive. I build everything with auto layout. Even in my tutorials, I have everything built with auto layout. However, again, the navigation is a bit dull. It's exactly using the same thing. It just changed the word about to home, but we still are using the same navigation, the same layout. So let's see if we can actually improve this. So here we have personal and company homepage title section. So what I would do is I would copy this, and let's just go ahead and create another prompt to see if Figma can actually become creative for us. So again, we could click first draft, paste that, personal or company website homepage, and then let's just say that is modern and clean looking. Let's make it and see what Figma is able to produce for us using this prompt. And then here, what I do notice is Figma is working on, again, the same amount of layout that we have. Is still working on it, but again, I'm still disappointed, because what I do notice is while Figma is working on this, we are still getting the same hero section. The only difference is here, the third text is changed to an exclamation. Again, a bit disappointed. I really did want to redesign my portfolio. I'm still getting the same repeated section in the previous prompt. I think the only new thing is what clients say about us. This is new. And again, a little bit more disappointed. I'm just not gonna bother changing the colors. I still get, again, the same footer. Let's see if Figma can come up with a better personal footer. So here, that's our version 3. Oops, before we do that, let's actually copy this and save the prompts that we use. So let's just call this v3. So that was our prompts. And if I try to collapse everything, we have version 1, 2, and 3, which is good. And these are the prompts that are being used here. What I do like about each of them, they are built with auto layout. So here, if I try to resize this, it is actually being resized, which is good. Not the image though. We still have to work on it to make it look better. But here, let's try to resize this. They are being resized, which is good. Again, not the best. You still have to do a lot of legwork to make it, again, responsive. Let's see if Figma can come up with a better footer, because again, the footer and header for all of them are identical. Like here, we have the logo on the left side. We have 4 basically nav, and it's being repeated with all the prompts. And then if I also take a look at the footer, it's actually being repeated all the way. It's basically nothing, like the same layout that is being repeated in 3 different styles. So let's just go ahead and come up with another draft, and then just write create a footer that has many links to social media platforms. And then again, we are using it from the basic side, because again, if I click here, Figma only give us 4 options to choose from, and we definitely want a website. So here, let's click make it and see what we get. And then here, now we basically wrote another creative footer, but it actually went ahead and created an entire website from scratch, which is again not what I expected, but it actually is creating like a LinkedIn, like you have home, profile, message. It is very early on, its basically early stages, but if you do have some prompts that you want me to explore, just type it down in the comment section and I can actually explore your prompts. Just type it down, and then here we can create a video of actually exploring prompts. And surprisingly, the only thing that Figma didn't create was the footer, even though we actually, let me just copy the prompt here, create a footer that has many links to social media platform. And now what I do see is it created everything. I think the word social media really triggered it to create like a LinkedIn social media look and feel with some, again, sidebar, but it completely ignored the word footer. We exactly needed a footer and we don't have a footer. Here, I guess, let me click on this, and then it just created a basic footer, which is just a simple frame. Wow, I'm really surprised. But yeah, go ahead, comment down below what you think we should explore in terms of the prompt, and then we go ahead and start typing the prompts. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more design tips and tutorials. Let me know what you think in the comments down below.